Hi everybody, it's been a few days and now we're going to start, and just a minute, yeah, come on over Jackson, look right in. Jackson's with me this time. We're going to start a new book, The Dear Old Briar Patch by Thornton W. Burgess. Wow, it's a new one. We finished Mrs. Peter Rabbit. And first of all, hello to Jackson, who's right here with me, and Matthew, Marjorie, and Emma here in Maine. Hi to Malia and Lucas in Missouri, to Kai Ming and Ru Kai in Washington State, and to Hope here in Maine. Hi, Hope. You say hi, Hope, Adam?
No, Adam.
I mean Jackson. You say hi, Hope. Good boy, thanks. Okay, you take the cap off now, okay? And let's see. To Dylan and Lucas here in Maine, to Leslie and Mary, our friends way over in England, to Ezzy and Indy in Oklahoma, to Kayla here in Maine. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
And to Sylvia, Macy, and Lillian in Maine, to Happer and Judson in Maine, and you know them, don't you, Jax? You know Happer and Judson. And to Caden and Xander in Maine, Evangeline and Isaac in Rhode Island, Mabel in the country of China, and Oliver, Madeline, and Wyatt way out west, and Alex up in Passadumkeag here in Maine. Okay, everybody. Okay, Jax, why don't you find a place where you can sit or whatever it is. I need room to read here. Okay, Jax? Okay. Now, let me see. Let me find the first page. The Dear Old Briar Patch. That's where Peter Rabbit lives, right? The Briar Patch?
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I'll need my glasses or not. Oh, boy, look at this picture. I see Peter Rabbit and Mrs. Peter and lots of little rabbits. And all kinds of the little people of the green forest and the green meadow. There's a spider web up there. Or isn't that something, huh? The dear old briar patch. Oh.
Right there.
The spider? Yeah.
Mr. Bird.
Huh. Okay. Now we'll find the first page.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 we want, right?
Yeah.
Box. Yeah. Chapter 1. The Dear Old Briar Patch. When you must seek a safe retreat, our briar patch is hard to beat. For a rabbit it is, huh? The dear old briar patch is an island of safety on the far side of the green meadows. As a rabbit runs, it's only a little way from the edge of the old pasture. The ground rises a little there so that it's just enough above the level of the green meadows for those who live in it to look out over the ladder to see who comes or who may go, and be they friend or be they foe. Bushes and young trees of many kinds, some bearing fruit in season, some with thorny stems clutching at those who rudely brush against them, crowd parts of the old briar patch. In other parts, tangled masses of greenbrier have left no room for other growth. Here and there, small trees thrust their way above, inviting feathered folk to make a friendly call and rest a bit. Just a minute, I've got to pause to let Jax get his stool in here. Bring it over this way, Jax. Jackson, and bring it around here if you want. I moved my table a little bit. We'll keep reading in just a minute, everybody. Okay, there, I think Jackson's all set. And there's the clock from Campobello Island up there. Okay. Now, where was I? Let's see here. Here and there, small trees thrust away above, inviting feathered folk to make a friendly call and rest a bit. Vines of several kinds creep and climb this way and that. Some lie in wait to trip careless feet. Others, with hooked claws, reach for and hold back those who are not welcome there. In early spring, violets and shy anemones bloom just within, and in early summer, wild roses along the edge are a joy to all who pass that way. Within are many little paths. They cross and recross. Okay, Jax, don't now, okay. Some lead into the thickest bramble tangles where they become tunnels through which none bigger than those who made them may pass. Secret places wherein to hide in time of danger. In the middle is an old house, an underground house. It was dug by Johnny Chuck's grandfather before there was a briar patch there. The seeds of the bushes and young trees and vines and brambles had not been dropped there by the feathered folk, or blown there by the merry little breezes. Now and then Farmer Brown will frown at the old briar patch and call it wasteland, and threaten to clear away all the bushes and trees and vines and brambles and sow grass seed there to make it a real part of the green meadows and of some use. Then the freckled face of Farmer Brown's boy becomes sober, and a pucker of worry creases his forehead. But it is of some use right now, he protests. It's of more use than ever it would be in such grass. It's the safest place anywhere for some of our most useful friends in fur and feathers. You know it is. Then Farmer Brown's eyes twinkle. Do you think Peter Rabbit is useful? He asks. Seeing the twinkle, Farmer Brown's boy grins, says that it is fun to see Peter around, and if making other folks happy by giving them pleasure isn't being useful, he doesn't know what is. Then Farmer Brown guesses they won't do anything about their old briar patch just now. Summer and winter, fall and spring, Peter and Mrs. Peter live there. Their sharp teeth have cut most of the private little paths through the briars and the brambles. It was when Peter led Mrs. Peter there from the old pasture that he had become the dear old briar patch, not only to them, but to many others who have found safety there and have made their homes there. From it, many young folks in fur and feathers, Peter Rabbit's children, some of Jimmy Skunk's, the children of many feathered friends, have gone out into the great world to find or make homes of their own. It is the safest and best place in all the great world, declares Peter. Then why don't you stay here? Demands Mrs. Peter a little sharply, for Peter at times slips away to visit the green forest or the smiling pool or the old pasture. Only in winter, when the leaves have long since fallen and snow carpets the old briar patch, may you see into it, and then not into its most secret places. Even then, it is the safest place and the best place in all the great world. Anyway, that is what Peter thinks. So does Mrs. Peter. Perhaps it is for rabbits. Snow was softly hissing down between the leafless twigs. Peter shook it off his whiskers. There is too much snow, he grumbled. I don't like this weather. I guess nobody does. I know. I guess your guess is wrong, said a thin, squeaky voice. I love it. Peter turned quickly. There sat Danny Meadow Mouse. Somehow he seemed stouter and his tail shorter than ever. Peter and Danny are alike in one thing, having nothing to brag of in the way of a tail. Danny's small eyes, almost buried in the fur around them, twinkled up at Peter. It's the worst winter I have ever known, declared Peter flatly. Says you, squeaked Danny. You just don't know a good thing when you see it. I hope this deep snow will last until next sweet Mistress Spring comes again. That's what I hope. Me too, squeaked another thin voice. Wow. Out of the snow beside Danny popped Nanny Meadow Mouse. Do you really mean it? Asked Peter. There's a picture of Peter Rabbit and one of the mice. And there's some trees and fields and trees in the background. Yeah, there's a mouse. Look at Peter's cane. He's got a scarf around his neck. Huh. Peter Rabbit and one of the mice.
Can I hold the picture?
Not yet, Jax. I've got to keep reading, okay, hon? Let's see, where was I? Do you really mean it? Asked Mrs. Peter. Of course, wait a minute. Of course we do. The two squeaky voices cried together. Then you're both crazy, retorted Mrs. Peter tartly, and Peter agreed. I'm tired of having nothing but bark and woody twigs to eat. It's mostly on account of this horrid snow, Mrs. Peter continued. It isn't horrid, it is beautiful, chorused the two mice, and now their little eyes snapped instead of twinkling. I believe they really mean it, said Peter to Mrs. Peter. Of course we do. Why shouldn't we? Squeaked Danny. Because it isn't so, retorted Peter, and he really meant that. Listen, squeaked Danny. I suppose that Hooty the great horned owl is still around. I heard him last night. He gives me the shivers, replied Peter. I suppose his small cousin, Spooky the Screech Owl, is spending the winter here as usual, continued Danny. I overheard Dotty the tree sparrow say he is living in the old orchard, said little Mrs. Peter. Of course Reddy Fox and Mrs. Reddy are around, and with good appetites, questioned Danny. They are around when they can get around. I never yet have seen one of them without a good appetite, said Peter. Bless you. And Blackie the Crow was still in the neighborhood, with a hat as black as Doug's coat, Danny squeaked. I see him every day, but I much doubt that his hat is any blacker than the hats of some others I might name, replied Peter. Of course Butcher the Shrike is down from the north with his usual appetite for mice and little birds, persisted Danny. It seems to me that I have heard it whispered he is about, agreed Peter, but what of it? What are you trying to get at? Just this. I haven't seen one of them, said Danny. I haven't either, squeaked Nanny, and not one of them has seen us, added Danny. We know they have looked for us. We know that they have looked and looked and looked, squeaked Nanny. It's because of the snow, the beautiful snow, said Danny. Both Peter and Mrs. Rabbit looked as they felt, puzzled. What has the snow to do with it? Peter wanted to know. Everything, squeaked Danny happily. Because of it, we can come and go, where we please, when we please, and never have to worry, lest we be seen by one of those hungry enemies. The snow hides us. We love it. Under it, we have little paths, tunnels in all directions, and if we need more, we can always dig them without too much work, explained Nanny. If Brother North Wind comes around blowing his icy breath on everyone, he finds we know nothing about it. He cannot find or reach us. Down there under the snow, we are warm and comfortable, have plenty to eat, and nothing and nobody to worry us, concluded Nanny Meadow Mouse. Peter drew a long breath. It must be fun to live like that, said he wistfully. I wish I could live that way down under the snow and always feel safe. Don't be foolish. You couldn't see a thing down there, and you wouldn't be satisfied to stay for half a day, Peter Rabbit, and well you know it, said Mrs. Peter tartly. Peter sighed. I guess that is true, my dear, he agreed mildly. That's the end of chapter 1 of the dear old Briar Patch. Okay, we'll see you later, everybody. Bye-bye.